Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And thank you so much for joining us once again for one of our chats. And as always, we like to set the tone. We like to give you the space in which we are coming to you. And that is one of kindness, compassion, love, and most importantly, respect. So we hope you will join us for another chat.
Yes, thank you so much. And we'd like to thank you for returning. If you're a returning visitor, viewer, that's what I was supposed to say.
Yes.
And if you're new, welcome.
Welcome.
We're going to get straight into it. But before we do, I'd like to remind you, if you like our chats, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification so you're the first to be notified when it's ready to be seen. And we're going to get going on the tea. And this is one we had last week. And
Can you tell we like it?
We loved it so much that we're back again with the same one. Here you go.
And here you can like zoom in. Everything you need is in the box. So you get a cup. The tea is down below. All you have to do is add the water and drink it. Let it seep.
And it allows you to have 3 cups of tea.
Yes, you can refill it. And of course, we tried that out and it worked wonderful. This is called Bloom Green Butterfly Pea Flower Tea. It is an organic loose leaf tea. I love that.
And what I really love is that it comes with 10 cups.
Yes.
So really, you can do 10 times 3 because each one is 3 servings.
30.
So it's 30 cups of tea that you can have.
Yes. The ingredients are organic green tea and butterfly pea flowers. That's it. We love when it's clean and simple. It's organically grown premium loose leaf tea collected from rich soil and heavily forested. You know, it is from Hebei, which is a province of China. And I love it. I had never heard of green butterfly pea flower. And it is the ultimate in luxury and convenience. It's a high quality super flower organic loose leaf tea with cool, hydrate, and refreshes your body and mind.
It's called Bloomi.
Yes.
And we went on their website and we saw a couple of other flavors
Yes.
that they have. So we're going to try and get those
Yes.
for future chats.
This is a keeper.
Yes, it is.
So we've had our tea steeping for a while and it comes with a little top.
The only thing I don't like about it is that it can get hot. If you put very hot water,
Yes.
it gets hot when you're holding it. So I
Yes.
wish there was a way that they could have made it so it's not as
Now I
hot.
wonder if yours is dark. Last week hers was really dark. Oh, they're about the same
They're
color.
about the same. Yeah, because
Yeah.
last week mine was way darker
Really
than
darker.
hers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, everyone. I love it.
I love this
It's not
tea.
too strong, and because sometimes when it gets too strong it gets bitter, which is what I don't like, and it's strong enough that you can actually taste the flavor.
Yes, I love it. Alrighty, so one of the things that we wanted to highlight today, we found initially we thought it was just a National Day of blah. No, there are many different ones. So for today, we decided to select National Hero Day. So, do you have a hero in your life, living, or someone that has recently transitioned to the other side? Who's your hero? Comment below and let us know. We'd love to know who's your hero of the day. I think that in our chaotic world sometimes it's nice to have a hero.
And for me, it's not just one hero. There are so many heroes. And I consider people that are doing good in this world heroes.
Yes.
That touch and affect other people's lives.
Yes. So, National Hero Day. Also, this is October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're rocking the pink. She has on pink on her wrist. She has on pink every day. It's her favorite color. And we just want to, once again, and we will continue to do this for the entire month, remind women to make sure you get your annual exams. Don't think, oh, that's nothing. Oh, I don't know what it is, but I'll check it out later. We always put ourselves on the back burner. We always take care of everyone else before we take care of ourselves. So we're asking you to slow down and take care of yourself and make sure you get your annual exams. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the universe because, we know that through love and respect, we can shift this entire world. We can change a lot of the chaos that's going on. We just have to figure out how to get people to stop just acting out and to focus and to be loving and kind. It used to work that you could say, is that really how you want your child to see you? And the parent would just calm down, or they'd see their child's face and they wouldn't do it. Whatever they were doing, if it wasn't appropriate, they would stop.
But now you can't. If you said that, they'll go, mind your own business.
Yes, because
well, they
now,
go, who do you think you are talking to me? That's not your child. I'll
do whatever I want to do with my child.
However I want to raise my child.
Yeah, and that has gotten really out of control. So we are just praying for wusa. We want a natural, calm peace throughout the world. We also want to acknowledge the passing of Sissy Houston. And you're like, who is she? In the gospel world, she was infamous. I mean, the woman could sang. And she also happened to be the mom of the wonderful late, great Whitney Houston. And one of the things that I recently found out, she passed on Monday. She was 91. And in addition to being a wonderful gospel singer, she also sang on Aretha Franklin's A Natural Woman.
Oh,
she
wow.
sang on Dionne Warwick's Walk On By.
Oh, I did not know that.
She did How Will I Know with Whitney Houston with her daughter. And one of my favorite songs, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Sissy is on that song as well. And on Van Morrison, she did Brown Eyed Girl.
Wow.
So even though you didn't see her, you have heard her.
All right, now I'm going to have to go on YouTube and Google and do a search for it.
Yes, you will be amazed. She has a beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. So you know how our central focus for the year is on our children and teaching them how to be good citizens, how to be good humans, how to be loving, kind people. So one of the things that I'm always looking for is, how do we help our kids be cool and woosah in this crazy, chaotic world? Globally, nearly 50% of young people ages 10 through 19 are experiencing a mental health disorder, accounting for 13% of the global burden of this disease across that age group. Just let that roll around in your mind for a little bit. 50% of young people ages 10 to 19 are having mental health disorder issues. Now, in 2016, almost 20% of the children in the United States aged 2 to 8, which is about 17.4%, had a diagnosed mental, behavioral, or developmental disorder per an article that I read by a company called KFF, and they do ratings and they monitor our children's growth and education and all of that. So I was just like, wow. In addition, they shared that there are symptoms of anxiety or depression disorder. So what they did is they said, let's just do a little small caveat. So they did February 1st to February 13th of 2023, and they found a percentage of 31.7% in California of these symptoms, compared to the rest of the United States at 32.3%. So sometimes being the great and powerful technical state isn't always good for our children, because that's what that means. That just means that here, and we can both attest to it, life is so fast. Hurry, 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 hurry.
And every parent, well, not every parent, but a lot of parents want their child to accelerate in some kind of tech field.
Yes.
So they have this pressure and they need to, live up to it, because in Silicon Valley, it's very expensive to live here.
Yes.
So unless you're in the high-tech industry making six figures, it's hard to actually be able to afford everything that you can afford here. So that's a lot of pressure, because the pressure is, can I survive in
Right.
this crazy Silicon Valley world with all the high prices, the houses. That's why a lot of the kids nowadays are not able to buy houses,
Right.
because they just can't afford it.
It's just
And
too
rent
much.
is up the
Ridiculous.
wazoo as well.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So if you are in the state of California, try and get your child some quality quiet time. Take the devices away. Yeah, they'll fight with you. However, if you make it fun, they'll actually come back and say, can we do that again? So find a way to understand what's important to your child and spend some time with them.
And it's good to do it as early as possible, as young as they are, because once they start getting into preteens, teenagers,
The habits are formed.
It's hard. It's hard. It's not impossible, but it's hard.
It's hard.
Harder.
Yes. And we just heard on CBS News today that children are now having nearsighted issues because everything they do is here. It's a phone, it's a pad. So in order to help with that, make sure your child goes out at least 2 hours a day and put the pads down and have them look at the beauty. Take them to the park. Let them look far away. See, we and our kids grew up going to the park every day on the jamborees and the monkey bars.
Yeah, back in the days, we used to go out and play. Let's go to whichever playground.
Yes.
And meet our friends with their kids. And
Yes.
that was exciting. And then
Yes.
they would get themselves so like energy, that all
Yes.
the energy would be out, and then they
Yes.
would go home tired.
And they would be knocked out.
Yep.
And they would get a nap and you could get a nap. It was perfect. And we need to get some of that back because you don't want your child not being able to see far away. So just, as we hear little things, we want to share them with you. So have you been watching Dancing with the Stars? It was preempted last week because of the vice president debate. And what happened this week is they did two. They did two shows and then they combined the scores. So the first was Soul Train.
I
right?
loved it. I could
Yes.
not believe that Rosie Perez, I did
Yes.
not know that she was one of the dancers
Yes.
on Soul Train.
Yes.
Well,
Not
I wasn't
just
from
that.
I wasn't
In
from the
Living
US, but I
Color,
didn't know that.
She was on In Living Color.
Oh,
and then
wow.
there's a movie called Do the Right Thing.
Yes.
And when she's doing Fight the Power and she's got her little boxing gloves on, Rosie Perez is a bad mamma jamma.
Yes, and they even had Cornelius
Yes.
back on Don Cornelius, and my husband missed that, but I told him, yeah, they even had the guy Don Cornelius. He goes, well, isn't he ancient? I said, he looked really good.
Yeah.
He didn't look that old. He still looked really good. And she actually gave some nod because there were some of the dancers in the
Right.
audience as well.
Right.
So I was very impressed, and I
Yes.
loved that theme because it just makes me happy when I think about
it's
Soul
music.
Train. Yeah.
It's real music. Back in our day, me a little bit more before her. I'm a little bit older. We used to. I would get up in the morning and I would watch Soul Train to find out what's the dance, and then you would learn it. You could we had VHS tapes, and you could record it and play it back till you got the moves. And then, so I would watch Soul Train to learn the dance, and then I would watch American Bandstand to see what the talent was. But American Bandstand wasn't about dancing. Dancing was Soul Train.
Soul Train was it.
Yeah. And
Yes.
then when you go to the club and you'd hit the floor and they'd go, "What are you doing?" And then somebody said, "I saw that on Soul Train." And then everybody would start doing it. It would just, and it wasn't a competition thing. It was fun. I mean, I wish our babies could know what
Yeah.
fun feels
It
like.
was back in the days when we didn't have any technology.
Yes.
We were kind of very innocent because it wasn't like we were that sheltered, but we kind of were.
Yeah.
And we didn't have anyone really to any influencers, anyone that we had to live by a standard of.
Exactly.
Because all these kids, that's why they always have these health issues and mental health, because they feel they're not
they're alone.
up to
Yeah.
the standards of these influencers and people out there.
Yeah, and if they can't be as big and as good as they are, then they feel like they're failing, and they're not. You're not failing at all. And, go watch Soul Train. I mean, we used to try and do some of the moves and we couldn't do them. And then you go to the club and you couldn't do them. And people would laugh at you, but do you think we cared?
So
You just kept doing it until at one moment you get it. And once you got it, because I used to be able to do the hustle.
Oh.
So I could do the
wow.
hustle, but I couldn't do, what's the one? Yeah, the one everybody does at all the weddings now.
What's that?
The dance. There's a dance that everybody, it's a line dance.
Oh,
But-
I don't know what is that.
So there was the hustle. Oh, the electric slide.
Oh, the electric slide.
The hustle, the beat,
I don't know.
and the footwork is one way, and the electric slide was different. So I could hustle. I mean, I could do the hustle, but I couldn't do the electric slide. And one day, my sister, we had a park, and we had a big barbecue, and she's like, "We're not leaving here until you learn how to do this. This is ridiculous. You're stepping on people." I mean, like, when this is how you hustle. And I learned how to do it. So it was fun like that.
It was fun. That was the fun. No competition.
No.
It was just very innocent, very playful, joyful,
Yes.
and we just love it.
Yes.
And that was a really great way to keep the contestants dressed
Yes.
up, and it was really
Yes.
great to hear all the music and
Yes,
everything.
like I love Phaedra Parks and Val. They did a great job dancing to Aretha Franklin's "Think." You better think. You know, I liked what is it? Alana. She's the Olympian, and Ellen.
Oh yes,
They
yes.
did the foxtrot
I don't remember what
to
the rugby
Lady.
player.
Yes, to Lady Marmalade. I thought, you know, for her to be a full-figured girl, I thought she looked really, really great the way she just glided across the floor. Stephen, he danced to "Superstition" by Stevie Wonder. His thing is that he has no real rhythm, so he kept getting ahead of the beat. So once he slows down, he's got the ability. He really does. And the second night, he did his little pommel horse on the floor.
Yes, he did. Just a little bit
you
of
know,
that.
he just needs to
That was cute.
slow down a little bit.
And the second night was the theme was what was it? It
hair
was
metal night.
It was heavy metal night because
Yeah, but they called it hair metal.
Hair metal because the guy from Kiss, what's his name,
Yeah.
came on and was one of the
Gene.
judges. Gene Simmons.
Yes,
He came on and he was one of the judges.
yes. So that was really good. But the music, like Joey, he did the Isley Brothers. I mean, that's what I mean. It was just such great music. Dwight Howard and Daniela, they did the cha-cha to "Let's Groove Tonight" by Earth, Wind and Fire. Their dancing first night wasn't good, but second night,
it was good.
when he got down on the floor and he's twirling her around, he is on the floor, his knee is on the floor, and he is eye level with her. I thought, oh my God. Daniela is doing some amazing choreography to put him where that height distance is it's at least 6 feet difference between the two of them.
She makes it so it's not so awkward feeling
Yes.
when they're dancing, which
Yes.
I like.
So that was really good.
And then, I think they all did a pretty good job. I
Yes.
just felt bad for what's his name, Reginald.
Oh yes,
Because he I didn't know, but he had some bad knees. Or
well,
bad,
he had knee surgery.
so,
He had knee replacement
Right.
surgery, and that can be painful. So he was kind of stiff. You could tell he wanted to do it. The top half would move, but the bottom half wasn't
so
moving.
Emma was trying her best, but it didn't.
It just didn't
You
work.
couldn't really do much if you can't really
Yes.
move your legs, because it's all about leg movement as well.
Yes.
And then the second night, obviously, they had to eliminate 2 couples.
Yes, and unfortunately, Eric and Reginald were the 2 to go home. However, out of all of the dancers, I think that they got it right for
They
first
did
time,
get it right. They
because
did.
their performances were the lowest on the leaderboard. So
Yeah, and I felt kind of bad for Reginald, because I thought that if he was to stay on, I don't think it would get any easier. It would get harder from there on. So I'm glad that he was kind of, not in a bad way, but in a good way.
But in a good way. So that's what happened there. So, as you know, Vice President Kamala Harris has been doing what they call a media sweep. So, did you see her? She was on The View. She was on Stephen Colbert. Governor Walz was on Jimmy Kimmel. Did you see him? And if you did, what did you think?
Yeah, and
Comment
she was
below.
also on the podcast. I have to
Call
write
Me
this Call
Daddy.
Me Daddy podcast, which I
Yes.
never heard of.
But I'm
But I'm
going to
going to
check it out.
start checking it out on my
Yes.
phone, because I do listen to podcasts on my phone. And it seemed like, from what Gloria said, it has
Mhm.
a very, very large following.
Yes, a huge female following. And what I loved is, remember you and I were talking about, I'll just say her last name, Huckabee. She was one of the individuals that Trump had tasked to be the communicator to the press. She's the press secretary or something like that. So she left there. She got to be into politics. So she comes out and she makes this very nasty comment about how her children keep her humble and how Kamala Harris doesn't have anybody to keep her humble. So when she was on the podcast, the host asked her, what do you think about that comment? And she says, well, there are some women who don't want to be humble. And I was like, yes, because if you're going to be the president of the United States of America, humble is not
It's not a good thing.
No, you want to be viewed as a strong, powerful, well-grounded woman
who really understands what she is there for.
Yes.
And what she's fighting for and what she's trying to help the nation with.
Yeah. So Sarah Huckabee, that wasn't really, that was not really good at all. And then she also told her that the most important thing for Kamala Harris is to make sure that people know that she is there for all Americans.
And I think she's done a very good job of actually expressing that on across
Everything
all
that
the boards
done.
that she's done, all the interviews, the DC, what is it? DNC, that's what I meant to say.
Yes.
All the interviews she's been doing, we know.
Yes.
Because I was just thinking, like, these past few days, she's been doing all these interviews coming on The View and stuff. I'm like, I know where she stands.
Yes.
She keeps repeating that, and I like it. And don't we forget that that's what she's there for all of us as a nation.
Yes. And one of the other things when she was on Call Me Daddy, they were talking about how I can't remember if it's the host but somehow the reference where all these old men are trying to tell women what we can and should do with our bodies. And Kamala was talking to her about the fact that it should be a woman's choice.
Yes.
Whatever we want to do is our bodies. So when she was on Stephen Colbert, he brought up the same thing. And he goes, I wonder if these dudes even know what a tampon is. He goes, and you use 1, 2 at a time? It was just to show how irresponsible it is for someone to be making decisions at that level about women. I mean, it would be the same thing if all of a sudden we said, we've got enough babies. You don't want us to do contraceptive. So why don't we start a neutering program? And we just start neutering men, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore. Think about that, men. How would you feel if somebody started saying they're going to start cutting off parts of your body? It's the same thing for a woman, in that you want to make a woman do something that she may or may not want to do. It's her body. So I love the fact that Kamala has been spot on from my perspective. She wants to take, right now, there are contributions for a small business, because she knows if small business can thrive, our economy will thrive, because small businesses will hire and train locally. And she was saying going from $5,000 to $50,000, that will make an amazing contribution. She talked about an entry level of $25,000 to help a person buy a home. And $25,000 could cover the initial down payment
in some states.
Yes. Yeah. And she talked about building 3 million new homes, expanding the footprint of what we currently have, making homes more affordable. That, to me, is exciting. That, to me, is progression and growth. On the other side, they're talking about, let's go back to slavery. Let's talk about what happened. The one thing that they also asked her prior to Kamala Harris doing all these interviews, they asked Trump, who won the election in 2020, and he said it was rigged. He did. They asked Vance, and he said, I'm not going to talk about the past. I'm only going to talk about the future. Then they asked Johnson, Speaker of the House. And you know what he said? I'm not going to talk about the past. I'm only going to talk about the future. The thing that they all need to understand is all of this rhetoric is just getting out of control. And instead of them doing the job that we sent them to Washington to do, they're wasting our time and they're wasting our money. So I want to send an attagirl out for us to start voting more. Voting people who are crazy out of office. You're tired of listening to people say things that make us all look stupid because the rest of the world thinks to themselves, how did that person ever get in office? So I want you to think about that. And I want you to be aware that these are the things that we have to keep our eye on for our children. It doesn't matter that the billionaire boys are pumping their fists and they're excited. How is that going to affect the quality of life for my child?
And talking about voting, I got my ballot today.
Yay!
So me, my husband, and my son, because my son registered and he's going to vote.
Yes.
Through the mail. But I told him, this is your first time you're going to be voting for a president.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to sit down and we'll do it all at one time so we can talk about the propositions and all the people, and we'll teach you how to do it. So I'm excited.
Yes.
And try and do it sooner than later.
Yes. Give yourself enough time. And apparently, we don't know when we're going to find out the final results of the election.
Because it's not going to be on that night.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, because there are states that are putting in new regulations that the votes have to be counted. And then double hand counted. And, you know, you can play all you want. All that's going to do is make more people disappointed and upset.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris wants to, President Biden already set the cap for insulin at $35 max for seniors. Kamala Harris said that she wants to make insurance more affordable for all Americans. Like we talked about the last time with why does medication cost so much here versus in a different country? That's why people get on a plane, fly to Canada or Europe and get the prescription and come home with it. It's sad, but I mean, it's really, you know, $100 versus $1,350.
Or in Mexico, which is closer to us than flying to Europe, they get it there.
Yes, so they're doing all these workarounds. That also is taking income out of the country because, you know, a little bit of money is better than no money. So she's talking about fixing that. Now, the other thing that I really like, she goes, I love that Americans are ambitious people. And now we have wonderful abilities to build upon our success. She wants to invest in small businesses so that everybody has to pay their fair share. Everyone's throwing at her, well, how are you going to pay for it? If the big boys pay their taxes like the rest of us, there will be more than enough money. And the last time I checked, when you pay your taxes, that's a line item on your next year's taxes. So because it's like an expense against your income. So what is the deal? If I was that rich, I would be trying to figure out how I could make more money and pay more taxes.
I would be so happy to pay the taxes because that means I'm making more than enough.
Yes. The only reason to worry about taxes is when you don't have the money to pay the taxes.
Right, exactly.
So we're going to, keep watching this and monitoring it. We would love to know what you think. How are you feeling now? I agree with Kamala Harris when she says, I'm over the rhetoric. I'm tired of the nastiness. I'm tired of the negativity. I want some positivity in our lives. We feel like we're being cooked alive out here, so hot. The last thing we need is to deal with all this rhetoric.
Yep.
So let us know, what are you thinking about all this good stuff? Oh, one thing, as part of the conversation with Colbert, Kamala Harris shared that Bob Woodward, he wrote another Trump book. And in this book, he talks about how when we were all going through the initial plights of COVID, and we were trying to figure out how to test, how to know who had it, what's the time expectancy of this disease, Trump sent COVID tests to Putin. And the reason she brought it up is because the concern is that he can be bought. We don't want a president that can be bought by anybody, not local billionaires and not adversaries out in the world. So that is something that we, the voters, have to be aware when we cast our vote.
Exactly.
So think about it before you just push that little pin. Okay? So, Golden Bachelorette, what you think? I know what I thought. What you think?
Well, I kind of liked it because got some more insight into the men, and she had a couple of one-on-ones.
Yes.
And what I really liked was the first guy was Pascal, and we've been seeing Pascal in his full glory because we find from what they've been showing, he lives a very affluent lifestyle.
Yes.
And we just thought this was all foo-foo, and he's very like, people have to cater to him. He doesn't cook. He doesn't do laundry. He doesn't clean. So I'm thinking, is there any more to him than what he's showing? Because I want a bit of substance.
Right.
We know that he has the money. We know that he can hone out all these tasks to other people.
Yes.
Which is why I was very happy that he got the one-to-one.
Yes.
And Joan also wanted to find out more about Pascal.
Yes.
Instead
Is
of
there
just,
more to him?
Is he more deeper than he makes out to be? And I love the fact that at the beginning they went to Vegas.
Yes.
And they went to some hotel or somewhere, and they showed all these gowns and things.
Well, they had to try on clothes for dinner that night.
Yes.
So they had racks of clothes brought in so they could try them on.
Yes, and then guess who comes in? Is Wayne Newton, and he sings to them, and they get to dance to his music.
Yes.
Which is something that Joan really likes. She loves that. So she was starting to see more of a softer side, a different side to him. And then, what did he? Oh, she had a sports car brought, and he thought, wow, this is my kind of thing. And he goes, am I going to drive it? But no, she goes, no, I'm driving it.
Thank you. No,
so
I'm in charge.
I'm in charge here. I called you for the one-on-one date, so I'm in charge. I'm going to be driving. But he actually didn't mind it. He liked it.
He actually got into it.
She did very well. And I actually liked the fact that in the evening he opened up to her.
Yes.
He went deeper, which is what we really wanted and what Joan wanted.
Yes.
And he talked about his upbringing.
Yes.
And it was kind of sad to hear.
Yes, where he came from.
Where he came from, because he didn't have much. And he had to fend for himself.
Yeah.
And she saw a different side to him. So now she kind of knows, because I think in a way he's trying to overcompensate for the lack of when he was younger. Which is fine, and nothing wrong with that. But I'm glad that he could go deeper, because that was one thing that she was missing.
Yeah, because I also thought he was like, kind of pompous. I'm like, And then he says things like, when I came to the country, I had holes in my shoes. And so that to me says, you know how to reflect a good time, yet you have a memory of what it was like before.
And before he had the money.
Yes.
Which is really, and then she had another date with Jonathan.
Yes.
But I didn't like the fact that he kept, prior to that, says, oh, I hope I don't get picked. I hope I don't get picked.
Yeah.
He was just too in himself and
he was
worried.
Scared.
Well, he was scared, but it's like, you're in the Bachelorette.
Yeah. And the job, all of you can't be the winner. So she has to break it down so she can spend time with you.
Yeah, and if you didn't want to feel that way, maybe you shouldn't have gone through, like, come on The Bachelorette.
Yes.
But this is something that has to be done, and there's no way around it, because
Yep.
how else is she going to get to know you?
Yeah.
But it's a good thing, because she only picks certain people for one-on-ones.
Yes.
And it was very nice, because in the end, he was very glad that he went
Yeah.
on the one-on-one.
Well, for him to, open up and to tell Joan that, he had to think about it, and he's like, I think his wife woke him up at like 2:00 in the morning, and she took a deep breath and she said, I want a divorce, and that was kind of like a shocking moment for Joan, because she was just like, wow. And even though their date turned out okay, the part that got me was apparently her girls had said, there's this bird, and when we see the bird, that's Dad.
Yes.
And they were out, and she saw the bird, and that just took her right back to her husband, right back to those feelings. And I remember in one of the preliminaries, she was saying how at one point I think when she was on The View, she said, I almost didn't, I almost just stopped everything, because I was like, I can't not love my husband. But she learned how to have them coexist.
Yes, and I'm glad she opened up and she said what she felt like. Can I really do this? Because
Yes.
I'm still in mourning for my husband, John. I
Yes.
feel that it's kind of bad that I do this. I'm still longing for him. I don't know if I
Yes.
can really, move on.
Yes.
But then in the end, she said, yes, I think I could do this.
And the guys shared with her, you're not alone. I miss my woman.
We're all,
we're
they were all
going
in the
through-
same situation, because
Yes.
some of them, like Jonathan, had
Yeah.
been divorced.
Yeah.
There were a lot of them that had their wives that just died, like
Yes.
especially Charles, whose wife just collapsed and fell on the
Yes.
ground.
And then for him to tell her, and like, I think he said that she must have bit her tongue or something, but blood came. I was like, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, so they were all in mourning, a lot of them still.
Yeah.
So they're both in the same situation.
Yeah.
But it's nice that she could open up and tell exactly, instead of hiding it, and
Exactly.
and just telling them how she was feeling, so that she wouldn't have to hide it and feel like she has to put up a good face.
Yes.
But The Bachelorette was I liked it because it was deeper than
normal.
And
Because when she went outside,
there's that little gnat again.
I know, when she went outside, she saw Gary, and I thought, oh, hell
Oh yeah,
no.
he came on the show, and I don't even know why,
I was
because I
like,
think it
hell
was the
no.
wrong timing, the wrong place.
It
He
didn't
was
do
there.
any good.
He came on. I'm like, what? After he left, I was like, what was the reason he came on?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I did not like him say was, maybe, have you ever thought about maybe that your person is not here?
Yeah. The
And I
person
was-
that you're longing
You're
for.
longing
isn't-
for.
I'm
And I
like,
was thinking, what are you trying to say, that maybe I'm the I was thinking he was going to say, maybe I'm the person.
You and I never really got to finish our date because you had to leave and go take care of your daughter.
Yeah, I thought he was going to turn around and
I
say
thought,
that.
oh my God.
I don't even know what the reason why they put that in. That was not the right time or place to say
I
that.
was wondering if they did that because that's what they were thinking of doing. And then once he said it, because it was a surprise to Joan, I'm sure she said, I'm already starting to have feelings for the people that I have here.
And it's only episode 3. So how
yeah.
can he say that?
Yeah.
So that was just a bad all around decision from the producers to bring him back
Yes,
anyway. It was
I
useless. Nothing came of it.
So we'll see what happens next week, and we'll update you again.
And then my guy, who I thought would had a chance, was the captain. What's his name? Kim. He didn't get a rose
Yes.
this week.
And
One of the 3.
the guy that used to do Pascal's laundry and all of his chores,
Greg. Greg,
Yeah,
and
he
all,
got-
yes,
he got
and
sent
the other
home.
Charles. The other Charles
Yes.
got sent home.
So
It's dwindling down.
Yeah, she's still got lots of guys to go through. So as I mentioned earlier, we've been going through another heat wave. Just imagine. I mean, we live in California because it's pretty perfect weather, Even on a hot day when the sun goes down and the wind goes over the water and it just cools the communities down. We haven't had any wind. Yesterday was the first day we had like a little bit of breeze, and they say from now on, because we were like full summer, triple digits, 90s plus. even here where I am, it was 101 on Monday, and I'm like,
and this
oh
morning
my
was
God.
actually slightly cooler,
Yes,
which was nice.
Yes, and they're saying that because the fog rolled back in, it's not going to get as hot. We may hit 90, but we won't hit 100 plus.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to that. And as we shared with you last week, all of the people in the 6 states that were hit by Helene, primarily North Carolina was hit the hardest. Florida got some, Georgia got some, Tennessee got some. Now those poor people are in the process of trying to clean up from Helene. And we mentioned to you that there was a little swirling out in the ocean called Milton.
Yep.
And they kept saying, you know, just prepare yourself. Well, earlier in the week, the word started coming out that Milton could be the most devastating hurricane in a half a century. President Biden and Vice President Harris have told people, leave. Board up your houses and leave.
This is not like your typical hurricane. It's very different.
Yes.
And everyone was saying why you should leave, because if you stay, you're going to die.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying.
They told them to write their name and their social security number on their wrists so that when they find their bodies, they will know who they are.
Oh, God.
Some people, you know, there was this man, and he has a boat. I mean, they call them like a yacht, but a boat is a boat to me. Even the ships, I call them boats. And he said that he rode out Helene, and he's going to ride out this situation because he said, everything I own is on this boat. My whole life is here. They showed people that said, there's no place I can go. Everything I own is in this house.
But isn't there places that they can go to? There were
They're
different
Yes.
locations. Yeah, different few locations around there that they could go to.
They had. Did you see those lines of people trying to get gas to put in their car so they could drive out of town? This is a major catastrophe in the works.
It's the worst of the worst. And I was looking up like today because I wanted to hear more about this Hurricane Milton. It said that it's barreling across the Gulf of Mexico as a Category 4.
Yes.
Right?
They're
as of
expecting
today,
it to turn into a 5.
On the path towards Florida, central west coast, it's expected to take landfall late tonight.
Yes.
So probably because we're like 3 hours behind.
Yeah.
We'll hear about it way before tonight.
Yes.
And it says they cause there's a string of supercell storms sweeping across the state's southern peninsula.
Yes.
4 twisters observed,
Yes.
including multi-vortex tornado in the early afternoon.
And that's being caused by the hurricane winds.
Oh my God. Even reading it, I feel like very, very anxious and stressed for them because I can only imagine if this happened in California, we wouldn't even know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then the Weather Service in Miami and Tampa Bay announced tornado warnings for multiple cities, adding to hurricane and storm surge warnings already implemented in a lot of these places.
Yes.
So keep your eye out on the news and pray. Just pray, because I'm like just praying that they're saying that it's going to be
really bad,
way worse than anyone can imagine.
Yeah.
They've never had this kind of hurricane. So I'm praying to God. I'm really praying all I can that people come out of this on the other end, and it's not like Gloria said, having to dig them up and see their social security and names on their arms.
And you know, the people that were in North Carolina, there were communities that are gone. So just to give you an idea, so the winds are forecasted, this is just the wind, Tallahassee, Florida, 20 to 25 miles per hour. Jacksonville, 35 to 40. Cedar Keys, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Orlando, 50 to 60 miles per hour. Tampa, 50 to 60 miles per hour. Fort Myers, 35 to 40. West Palm Beach, 35 to 40. Miami, 25 to 30. And Key West, 30 to 35. The highest water storm, the water surge, okay, the potential is 9 to 13 feet high in Tampa, 10 to 15 feet in Sarasota, and 8 to 12 feet in Fort Myers. So I was watching CBS News, and they did this little thing, and they said, okay, they showed a little apartment complex with cars on the street, and then they said, now this is 3 inches, and the water rises to the waist of the person talking. The cars are about halfway underwater. Then they take it to 6 feet. The cars start lifting off the ground. The person is almost submerged that was standing there. Then it goes to 9 feet. Now it's gone. The cars are all underwater. You don't see the person that was there anymore. The building is multi-story building. The building is now just water. And when they go to 10 to 13 inches of water, I mean, it's like, oh.
Is that underwater, really?
Yeah.
Like in the sea?
Yeah, because it just surges. So, like Rosetta said, please, please, please be careful. Please, please, if they say evacuate, evacuate. I know that there are problems getting gas and fuel. However, sometimes what you can do is get enough gas to get you to the next place. President Biden is working with FEMA, and I'm trying to think of the director of FEMA. She is on the ground. If you can just imagine, okay, they're going through all this stuff. And we have people, her name is Deanna Criswell, and she's got people on the ground. President Biden is sending in troops. Our firefighters in California are going to help. People are helping, and we have idiots spouting lies, saying that there's nobody coming, putting on AI generated videos of like a little baby holding a puppy and saying that she was forgotten. No one would ever forget a child. The people in these communities are saying, stop it. We are getting the support that we need. So don't let this decide what you believe. Do your own research.
Yes.
Because this is horrific. And I always believe in karma. What you put out, you get back. All these people who are lying, one day something horrific is going to face them. And I want them to think back to what they did now, because there's no reason. You can do politicking, but when it comes to life and death, you have to set all that crap aside.
Yeah, so let's just pray for them, and
Yes.
we'll keep you, well, yeah, it's just going to be, we'll have to find out afterwards what's going to happen to this Hurricane Milton, but I
Yes.
pray
It's not looking
and
really
thoughts
well.
to everyone, and just praying that the hurricane, try and
Yes.
give the hurricane a bit
Just
of
let
like
it turn and go back
like
into
say,
the
hurricane,
ocean.
listen to me, please.
Yes.
Don't be so rough,
Yes,
please.
you know, because they are already being bombarded by rain already. That started on Good Morning America. They were talking about how the rain was just, they were being pummeled by rain.
Yeah, because they're 3 hours ahead of us.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So, you know, when it's 7 here, it's 10 a.m. there. So now it's 5:30 there. So they're already getting, I'm sure they're in darkness now
Yeah.
with the wind and the rain. So our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we will just hold the space for everything to be okay. So here in California, we're all about recycling. We're always doing things to recycle, finding ways where we can take things on the planet, and instead of throwing them away, we can recycle them and reuse them.
Yeah, California is very big on that, because they do give us those big recycling blue cans
Canisters.
outside,
Yeah.
and everyone's talking about recycling.
Yeah. So one of the things that we were trying to figure out, how much plastic is actually being recycled. And in the United States, only about 5 to 6% is actually being recycled each year. Now we think it's like 50, 60%, if not more.
Yeah,
But-
I went on the website. They said 9%. What I
Right.
read. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But
still
it's still
really
under
low.
it's still under
under
10%. That is really, really bad. and they said only 21% of recyclable material is captured, and all materials are under recycled. 76% of recyclables are lost in household levels, underscoring the importance of providing all households with recycling services and engaging people with good communication on how to recycle locally. Yeah, they put the bins out there, but I can tell you, people are like, I don't know what to do. So you know what they did in my neighborhood? They put pictures on the top of the canisters. So now you can't say, I don't know what to put
Well,
in
you're
it.
lucky that you're in Fremont, they have that, because I'm in Campbell and we don't have that on our recycling cans.
Right.
What we do have is a trifold pamphlet, and I stick it on my, magnetize it onto my fridge.
So that you can
The same
see
with
it.
the compost stuff, so I know what can be compost. So I
Right.
can see it. But if we don't, like, it's hard because I have to keep referring back to it. If it's
Exactly.
actually on the actual, but you know, there's so much stuff that you can recycle.
Yes.
I didn't know until a long time ago that you could recycle milk cartons.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Long time ago, I found that out.
Well, you know, like we also have like recyclables where you can take like bottles and cans and they'll give you money for them.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that helps to keep them off the streets because
Well-
they're worth at least 5 cents because that's
Yeah.
what you pay.
Yeah.
But
So the plastics are a big thing in
Yes.
recycling, and there's actually a lawsuit out right now.
yes,
And I got this from the Plastic Pollution Coalition website, and they said there's a lawsuit out for ExxonMobil.
yes,
And ExxonMobil, it states, this is the lawsuit, what it states, ExxonMobil has deceived the public into
Yes.
believing recycling plastic is a valuable option to combat the global plastic crisis.
mhm,
And they're saying that Exxon, I didn't know this, Exxon is a major manufacturer of the materials used to create plastics, and this lawsuit marks a crucial development in the ongoing fight against plastic pollution. So
yeah,
I actually went, before I saw this lawsuit, to the Exxon website, their own website,
yeah.
and they talk about how they're trying to recycle all these plastics.
Oh yeah,
And what did I read? I read that they're trying to recycle the plastics with chemical recycling, why some of our plastics are harder to recycle. They're all about how to reduce, lower the emissions,
Oh, yeah.
solutions, and things like that.
oh yeah.
But I didn't know about these 2 lawsuits that was coming. But what I did like was that this Plastic Pollution Coalition said there are things that we can do to actually take action to fight against ExxonMobil
Right.
making more of these plastics, because a lot of
Right.
these plastics are single use,
Right.
and it's very hard to recycle if it's single use.
Yeah, and one of the things, it's like the person that's like putting the guard of the prison in charge of making the decision about what goes on inside of the prison. You know, ExxonMobil, they just got caught lying
Right.
because they generate plastic pollution in California. And that's why they're being sued for falsification of information about their recycling program. They are just lying. They make it seem they have this plant and they're like, well, you know, we're going to increase our volumes over time. So the lawsuit is going to surface a lot of information about.
Well, there's another lawsuit as well. Did you know about that?
No, I
There's
only know
another
about the
lawsuit.
Exxon.
It's by the environmental nonprofits filed separate lawsuit.
Okay.
And several nonprofits filed lawsuits to hold Exxon accountable, like Surf Rider, the Sierra Club, Heal the Bay, SF San Francisco Baykeeper. They
Okay.
claimed that Exxon violated California's nuances and unfair competition laws by hiding the dangers of single-use plastics. They also alleged that ExxonMobil misled the public into thinking that plastic waste could be easily and safely disposed of
Right.
through recycling, which has only worsened the plastic pollution crisis.
Right, because they say that the process that they're telling us that they're using isn't working. So they're just out and outright lying. And back in the day, pre-COVID, they would just put stuff on barges and ship them to other countries.
To China and stuff, and
Yeah.
now China's not accepting them.
No, because now China's like, wait a minute, this crap is killing our citizens, and now we want to be more conscious about clean air.
So where does all these plastics go to? In the landfill.
Yes.
In the landfill. And they said that you can actually take action, and I think I actually did that already, by signing a petition.
Yes.
So you can actually go onto the Plastic Pollution Coalition website, which I'm going to put a link to in the description, and sign the petition,
Yes.
calling for a cap on plastic production.
Yes.
So there's hope in stopping plastics at the source and keeping the critical issues on the table.
Yes. And I know Governor Newsom has, pre-COVID, we had gotten rid of plastic bags in the grocery stores. And then COVID hit, they didn't know how it was spreading, so they brought the plastic bags back. Okay, it's coming back. It's either 2020, I think it's 2026. I think it should be 2025. They're going to outlaw plastic bags again.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, there are some places that have plastic bags. But now, since they did this during COVID, or even before COVID, to bring our own reusable bags, I never get bags from grocery stores anymore. I make sure I have my own.
Yeah.
Or I actually, if I forget, I usually put the shopping in my cart and bring it to my car.
Yep, that's what I used to do. And then I would load it in my bags, because sometimes they act like they don't want to touch it. And I'm like, well, this is your crap coming off of your shelves, so put it in the cart and I'll take it from there. So this is something really important, and once again, all of this ties into global warming. The reason that the hurricanes and the fires and all of
the
these
weather that's erratic year to year,
it's because of global warming, and we have to start collaborating together. All this acting out is not bad. It's just too much negativity. So negative begots negative. So how about we do some positive things in the future going forward?
And we will actually, every chat, we're going to keep talking about recycling.
Yes.
And how we've always talked about this global warming, and what we can do to take action now. And as parents, to teach our kids at a young age how to do things, stop the emission, the global warming and everything like that.
Just so our kids grow up doing it naturally, so it's not like, ew, that's nasty. It's exciting.
Yes.
So once again, we've had a lovely conversation with you all. We hope we shared some information with you. We hope you chat and comment below and share some information with us. Let us know what's good and easy for you to recycle. Let's share the information so we can get our community talking. So my name's Gloria Webb Williams. My company is Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural, an all-natural mineral makeup manufacturer right here in Santa Clara, California. And my cohort is
Rosetta Chow, and I'm a certified health coach. Your health matters, and I like to educate, and I like to speak. And when I'm speaking, I'm educating.
I know. Double barrel.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Yes. So we want you to know that we feel the love in the room. We're so grateful that you take the time to listen to our chats, and we send it back to you. Mwah! Bubbling over.
And think about the people in those states that the hurricane is going to hit.
Yes.
Pray for them. Pray for them.
Pray for them. Pray.
And we thank you so much. We hope that you enjoyed our chat, and let us know what you thought in the comments. And we just want to say that if you liked our chat, please hit the thumb icon, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification.
Whee!
Thank you so much again. And we are Silicon Valley Girls, chat over tea.
And remember to always keep smiling. Bye.
Bye-bye.